Hello, this is Julian with Julian Tech Reviews, and we're here with another exciting, unconventional video. We're going to talk about the Google Pixel 9a, which just came out. So stay tuned, and I'll give you the full breakdown of my review. Let me introduce you to Google's budget-friendly phone, the Google Pixel 9a. Now, this phone just came out, and they have come in four different colors. And we have the iris color, but it comes in obsidian, porcelain, and peony. And the cost of this phone is $499. So it is in line with the budget-friendly phones. And it is $500 less than the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Now, this video, I'm going to unbox it and I'm going to show you my week review of having the phone and my experience on the battery life. I'm going to tell you what's missing and whether this is worth a budget-friendly phone that you should have. But before we get started, you know exactly what you need to do. You need to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for all the support on the shorts, on my videos, and I'm gonna keep coming with it. But today, let's get into it. So let's talk about the internal. So as I mentioned before, this is the Google Pixel 9a. I got the iris version, which is kind of like a purplish blue. And when you looked at the video, at the pictures, I kind of thought it was a little bit different. Some might say this is a little bit less masculine color. But the Google colors kind of vary. So I picked iris just because I wanted something different than porcelain and just straight up black. And then peony is straight pink. So I'm getting away from that. But let's talk about some of the specs. So let's talk about the display and phone size. So this is a Gorilla Glass 3 aluminum frame, plastic back. It has 6.3 inches. It is a flat display, no curves. So sorry for those who loves curves. It weighs 186 grams. It is IP68 dust and tight, water resistant. It has a ratio of 20:9 and a 422 PPI density. It is a POLED display with HDR support, and it has 120 hertz refresh rate with 1800 nits of brightness and 2700 nits of peak brightness. It includes Android 15 up to 7 major Android updates. I repeat, 7 major Android updates. And it has the Google Tensor G4 chip. It is 128 gigs up to 256 gigs of storage, only 8 gigs of RAM. Wow. Let's talk about the cameras. So the cameras include 2. So as you can see, there's this little bean shape. There's only 2 cameras in there. So the main camera is a 48 megapixel wide angle camera with a 1.7 focal length and a 13 megapixel ultra wide with a focal length of 2.2. It includes 4K video with up to 60 frames per second. Let's talk about the selfie camera. So the selfie camera is 13 megapixels with focal length of 2.2, ultra wide, 4K, 30 frames per second. In the features, it has the fingerprint under display, optical, the accelerometer, gyro, proximity, compass, barometer. It includes a lithium polymer 5100 milliamp battery, and it includes wired and wireless charging. So with all the internals, what is missing? Because this is a budget-friendly phone. And to be honest, not a lot. Let's compare quickly to the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. So what's missing? Well, compared to the 9 Pro XL, this includes a POLED display, POLED display, and which is plastic. So this is a little bit more flexible. It really is drop resistant, so you'll be able to accidentally drop it and not shatter. Whereas you're dealing with the LTP OLED display, which is low temperature, more expensive version of the display with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And then this includes only 8 gigs of RAM, where the max you can do in the 9 Pro XL is 16 gigs, so you can do 12, 16. So that's a little bit bummer. It has only 2 cameras versus 3 cameras, and the 12 megapixel camera ultra wide versus the 48 megapixel ultra wide on the 9 Pro XL. You have only 4K video versus 8K video with the 9 Pro XL. and the selfies camera is 13 megapixels versus 42 for the XL. You got no ultrasonic finger display. You got no skin thermometer. You have no ultra wideband support. You have no reverse wireless charging. You have no satellite SOS service. Now, is all that worth spending $500 less? To be honest, yes. And when I go through just this review of this after a week, I'm really thinking that they just snuck in a flagship phone in a small price, and they tried to make it look budget as possible, but this is awesome. I'm just gonna tell you that right away. And before we get into anything further, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. So here's the Iris box here. So it's very simple. I've already opened this since I reviewed it. So you just pull these little tabs right here, and then this little carton goes off to the side. And you just kind of have to wiggle it to get it out. It's got your nice little recyclable box. And here's the phone display. All it has is the wired, the USB-C to USB-C. Inside you have your books, and then you have your SIM ejector tool. And that's pretty much it. And then here it is, the Iris Google Pixel 9a. Now let's put that to the side. Now, upon opening the box, I'm used to using, big giant flagship phones that are about 6.9 inches and beyond, wired, open displays, all that, foldable phones. It is quite refreshing to get a 6.3 inch phone and just see how compact and just accessible everything is. So my experience so far, just opening it, is refreshing to go back to a day and time where we used to have not so huge phones, and this was like probably the biggest upgrade. So that's just one thing with it. Now, I had the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL for a while, and I've had the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold and don't have those currently. However, I don't miss it because I'm looking at this and I don't feel any kind of budget friendliness out of it other than the price. And currently right now with Google's offer up until the 23rd of April, you can get $100 credit so you can buy cases and things like that on the Google website. So let's go ahead and talk about that POLED display. So as you can see, the display is here. And, I quite don't see such a huge difference. I mean, it's a little bit more glossy. It's not really catching it catches all the sun. So it might be a little bit of issues in the sun. But I mean, it's all the way to the max brightness. I mean, you can see, it's amazing. Then let's talk about the refresh rate. So it has 120 hertz refresh rate, which is the same as it is on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. So you're not missing anything. I can go to, my socials and I can, scroll all the way with no interruptions. It does have the multitasking, features. So you can do the split screen. You can, multitask your way. I mean, there's no real just setbacks when it comes to this budget friendly phone. And with all videos, I always show, kind of like my settings, which it's not very much different than a lot of settings per se, but I always make sure that I go into my display settings to get the absolute best quality out of my display. So the first thing I do is make sure that we have all the colors. So right now it's adaptive. Usually it's set to natural. Then I go into my refresh rate. So I make sure that we got the 120 hertz refresh rate. So right now it says smooth display. It says automatically raises. So you can't really do anything but do that. And that's pretty much it. Now, I said that there's no ultrasonic finger display, but as you can see, it's very, responsive. So no issues with that. I mean, it's a little bit, nicer on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, but not $500 worth, you know, the difference. So you're going to be fine with that. And I'll be fine with, you know, the RAM here. So the RAM, it's only at 8 gigs. Well, compared to the 16 gigs, it's a small noticeable difference, but no difference of $500 is, you know, warranted. So I'll just say that about that. But I mean, just look at the snappiness of this. So, you know, going on with the display, you have no issues, you know, going and updating your display. And then plus you get 7 years of, you know, Android major updates. So, I mean, this is definitely something that you want to look forward to. Now, let's talk about video. So, you know, we like to, you know, test the speakers and things like that. But I just wanted to show you just a couple of a video clip of just what it looks like whenever you're using your phone. So I have queued up a couple of HD, 8K Ultra HD. So just take a look at, you know, what you're looking at. And let's see, we can do auto rotate. And as you can see, just not looking at the sound, you're getting a high quality display. I mean, this is as clear as you can get. So let me know in the comments what you think about this video. I mean, obviously you're getting high quality, and the Tensor, you know, G4 chip is holding up very well, and I'm getting, you know, excellent coverage when it comes to that and multitasking. So that's amazing. All right, obviously another thing I want to test is the speaker. And this is from our favorite No Copyright Sounds. Let's go ahead and crank it up a little bit. So as you can hear, it has excellent speakers. The sound is coming from this side on the top and then down here, obviously. So you're gonna get high quality sound, which is great. Now let's talk about gaming. Obviously, gaming is something that you wanna do on this phone. And I must say there's no real, you know, slack in the gaming. I mean, I haven't had any issues. I always do the old, you know, asphalt, which is great. And as you can see, we got high colors and everything. So you can game with this just as much. And, you know, to each his own with the gaming. It does heat up a little bit. That's about the most I could say about, you know, any kind of like negative when it comes to gaming. It does heat up just a little bit, but the Google Tensor chip is working very well. Now let's talk about the battery. So the battery life on this one is surprisingly better than the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. This has a 5100 milliamp battery, and the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL has a 5060 milliamp battery, I believe. And that's just great that they'll be able to pack more into this battery to last longer than, you know, the flagship. So that's why I'm saying $500 is not, you know, crazy price. Now, let's talk about the camera. So the camera, even though it has 2 cameras, does a very great job. I mean, this is Google software we're talking about. I mean, the Google Photos are amazing. And let me just show you a few samples here. All right, so now we're back. Those were the photos. I think I've covered pretty much everything that I've experienced throughout this week. My experience is the battery life has held up. The display has held up. My opinion, if you were to upgrade from a Google Pixel 7a, do it. I would say if you're looking for a budget-friendly phone that is gonna work and that you're gonna get the best experience and not any cuts, this is the phone that you get. This is the Google Pixel 9a. and they have the 4 colors. It's only $4.99. What a steal, what a deal. And comment below if you think there's any other budget-friendly phones that's better. Now, if those are those savants out there who want to make sure that you're getting the absolute best flagship for your money, you can currently get the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL on eBay or something like that for maybe like $600. So you're only $150 away from absolute smash banger of a flagship of the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. So that is a good option for you. And if I were in that position, I would get that to get the maximum, bang for my buck. Now, if you're really trying to get fancy, if you're only paying $500 for this, that's great. But if you spend about $400 more, you're going to get a Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold, which is one of the best foldables in the market in 2024. So you have a plethora of options that you can, consider. But in these economies and this time, if you want a budget-friendly, smash, flagship quality phone, I believe this is it. And yes, I say flagship quality because I literally see no difference in the 9 Pro XL and this. Only because there's 4 cameras on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Yes, but is it the same processing? Pretty much so. Does it have 8K video? No, but 4K just as well as work. I don't know about you, but I don't use 8K a lot. I use just normal, portraits, normal videos on my everyday life. So is that worth an extra $500 brand new? No, in my opinion. So I really sincerely, suggest that you get this phone, you take a look at it and see all the pictures, and you see the price, and you see the display, you see the refresh rate, and you just see the high quality that Google pays close attention to. Ignore all the shenanigans around Google and give this phone a try. This is the Google Pixel 9a, the Iris version, $499 plus tax with a $100 credit on Google Store. This is Julian with Julian Tech Reviews. Like and subscribe this video. Comment below if you're interested in getting one of these or you're looking at getting a budget-friendly phone. And I'm gonna sign out. Peace.